Hi, and welcome to READ 3302, Reading in the Intermediate Grades. I am Dr. Ryan, and I'm one of the instructors for the course this summer. So this welcome video is to talk specifically about the course as it will play out in the summer sessions, because it's a little bit different than if you've had friends or peers take it during the fall or spring. So I wanted to welcome you to the course, go over a few of the key ideas with you, and then talk a little bit more specifically about how it's structured for the summer, because the key is it's going to go fast. So get ready. If you have the two documents on Moodle, the syllabus and the course organizer, go ahead and get those two now, either on your screen or if you've printed them out, because those are the two I'm going to talk about most. So here's the syllabus, and then here's the course organizer. Now, if you found this video, you probably already know that our course is offered on Moodle. Many of you have likely had other READ courses before, so you're familiar with the Moodle site. But it is a little bit different than Blackboard, so give yourself a chance to get used to it. But also, it's really nice to be able to expand some of your 21st century skills. So you might hit moments of frustration, but keep with it, or ask your instructor for help, or ask the tech people that are listed on your syllabus, and any of us will be able to give you support. Moodle's used a lot by school districts. It's an open source software, and so it's really nice to be able to put on your resume, oh yeah, I'm familiar with Moodle and Blackboard, right, with multiple platforms for e-learning and distance learning. So that's one reason that we do it, to encourage you to keep up your 21st century skills. So, like I said, if you look at the syllabus, this tells you what we'll be doing this semester and why. The course organizer will tell you when. Okay, so that's sort of how these two documents are set. I'm going to draw your attention to a couple specific things. A lot of this will be very familiar from other courses. We do have two required texts for this course, right? The first one is The Reading Turnaround by Stephanie Jones, Lane Clark, and Grace Enriquez. Students love this text. I love this text. It's very readable. It's very applicable. It's very engaging. I think it will really teach you a lot, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised that this is not sort of just a textbook. I think you'll be able to learn a lot. So do get this right away. We'll be getting into it right away in Module 1. This text we'll be getting into in Module 2. It's the QRI 5, right? And it's the reading assessment program that we will work on learning and that you will use in your assessment project. Be sure when you get it that you get one with a DVD in the back so you can print off the materials that you need. Okay. So those are the two required texts. There will be readings posted on Moodle that you'll also do, and you'll have one children's chapter book that you need to access, but that's described in Module 1. You can get that from a library or a bookstore or whatnot, but you'll have to get access to the book that you choose, and you'll be reading and discussing that with the group. So those are the texts. Just a word about academic integrity. You'll see it down here. Just really simply, you should do your own work. Great, just period. If you have any other questions, the policy is described further. But if you use anything that is not yours, if you copy anything from the web, if you reference anything from online, cite it, right? Teachers share each other's work. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time, but whatever you use, you need to acknowledge, right? And otherwise, you need to do your own work. That means for quizzes, projects, everything. If you've taken this course before, let your instructor know right away, and they will make plans with you. Okay, a lot of the other things you'll see on page 2 are pretty standard. You look at page 3, and it has a section here on participation. The course is going to be fast, right? I'll say that probably 15 more times. So you need to be engaged, okay? I can only see the work that you put in from what you post, right? So how well you do in the quizzes, how active you are, how many times you access the readings, the communication that you have with me. I can't see what happens in your home, right? So think about your participation in terms of what I can see, and make sure that that is active and engaged. At the same time, you can expect me to also be engaged with your learning, right? So I'm trying to be very responsive to email. I'm happy to answer your questions. If you do have any questions or concerns, addressing them with me early as soon as they come up will be a much better, will sort of help us be more successful than if you wait. Especially in 5 weeks, there can't be a lot of waiting. So if you wait and let me know that things are a problem after a due date, for instance, there's not a lot that I can do to help you. If you let me know right away, then we can make a plan. Right? So please do be in communication with your instructor and let us know if you hit any particular difficulties. We're happy to answer questions, right? We like to help students, but you can help us, and you'll see this in red here. You can help us by letting us know what you've already done to try to answer your questions. Right? We provide a lot of resources for you to take hold of and to learn from over the summer. So we'd like you to check those resources first, right? So for instance, if you have a question about, well, how many points is this course out of? That's something you can answer by looking in your syllabus. Now, if you look in your syllabus and you have a question, or you think that maybe your instructor left off something, or you have 2 bits of information that seem to be conflicting, please ask us, no problem. But you can start your email by saying, Dr. Ryan, I was wondering about how many points this course is out of. I looked in the syllabus and saw this, but then I saw this other thing. Can you help me understand? That we're happy to do. We can give you a better answer when you give us more information about what you've already tried to do. Okay. Also underneath that, you'll see assignments and assignment policies. One of the biggest things is because this is the summer, we can't take a lot of late work, right? You're doing an entire semester. Okay, think about how much work you put into in a semester. An entire semester in 5 weeks. Stuff can't be late. Okay, we've got to stay on task. We've got to stay on track. Okay, so the syllabus says that your instructor will take work that is 1 day late. If it's after a day late, you have to have talked with your instructor before she will accept it. Okay, so prior approval, again, something comes up, Dr. Ryan, I'm sick, I can't work with my student until Friday, and I know that means the paper will be late. Then we can talk about it, but you've got to let me know in advance. Okay, we can't just have stuff waiting for the whole semester. This course has to move along in chunks because your instructor needs to know that you're getting the material. They need to help you if you need extra assistance, right? And they need to be grading as we go. So you cannot wait and turn in everything at the end. Okay, so pace yourself. The due dates are all clearly laid out. And if you do get that approval from your instructor, if you get that approval, says, sure, take an extra 4 days or 3 days or whatever, copy and paste that email exchange into your assignment. So that then when we are grading, we say, well, why is this late? Oh, right, they had permission. Okay, that really helps us out. The other thing you can do that is a huge help is when you turn in your assignments, save them as last name, first name, and then the assignment. So for instance, if I were doing it, I would say Ryan, Caitlin, and then dash assessment project, right? So whatever it is, if you can save it last name, first name, and then the assignment, that helps us when we're downloading and grading. So thanks. You'll see a list of the assignments here. Because this is a condensed course over the summer, we've tried really hard as a 3302 team to come up with the information that is central, right? That is key to your learning, that will help you be a good reading instructor for your future students, but also in ways that aren't overwhelming, right? So how can we get the most out of the material in the shortest amount of time, right? So we're really trying to make that balance. And I think we've done a fairly good job of that. So we'll start off with an introduction forum. Well, we'll look at those assignments in a second when we go over the course organizer, okay? So the last thing I'll draw your attention to in the syllabus is the end here describes the points, right? So this is a course that's graded in points. The whole course is 150 points. And so you can see, you keep track of your grades there. Please note that you have to earn at least 109 points. You have to have a C or better to pass this course, okay? And the practicum assignments are also required to pass. So let us know if you have questions. That's the syllabus. Now let's check the course organizer, because this will start to show us how our semester is going to flow. Okay. So what you'll see here is that the course is organized into 5 modules, right? So we're going to do 1 module every week. Now during the school year, those modules are spread out over 3 weeks, right? And we tell students to take about 9 hours a week for each module, right? So about 27 hours is what you might be putting in every week in this course. It's a lot, but here's why. It's a lot because it matters, right? Because in this course, you're going to be learning how to teach 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders how to read and how to be successful at that reading. It's hugely important to your life as an elementary school or special ed teacher, right? It's just key. The material matters. We've chosen stuff that's important. We've chosen stuff that we think is engaging. So we've tried our best to make it absolutely useful for you. But you're going to have to put in the time to get everything that you can out of it, okay? So we're going to be moving fast. 5 modules, 5 weeks. We'll start off by talking about intermediate readers and the text that they read, right? So this is a course on reading instruction in the intermediate grades. What does that mean? How is that different than younger kids reading? Why do we have to have the second course? What's going to be different about it? I've already done guided reading. What does this matter? Right? This will help you start to understand, oh, this is what who intermediate readers are. These are the kinds of things that they read, and this is why that matters, okay? When you log into Moodle in that first week, you'll do a couple introductory things, and you'll see that. The first thing is to look at these documents that we're talking about. The second thing is to do your Moodle profile and to post on the introduction forum, and there's specific directions there. But this way we can start to get to know each other just a little bit. You'll also go ahead and choose your literature circle book and roll, right? And that's also explained on there, but you'll click on the Google Doc and put in your first choice for what book you want to read and what role you want to have in our literature circles. The next thing you'll do is really important. This course requires a practicum. And over the summer, what that means is that you will find a North Carolina public school student who is going into grades 3, 4, 5, or 6 next in the fall. And you will work one-on-one with that student, right? So your experience will be a little bit different than if you were in a full classroom, but it will still let you apply what you're learning. The course is set up in these 5 modules to have you learn a lot of things and then apply them right away, okay? So you'll see that balance. You'll be taking in a lot of information, but it's in order to apply it with your learner, okay? That's the key for the course. So the first thing you need to do is you need to find a student that you can work with who attends a North Carolina public school and is going into grades 3, 4, 5, or 6, okay? There is a form, a practicum form that's been emailed out to you and it's posted on Moodle. You need to fill out that form. You need to have the parent sign it and you need to turn it back in, okay? You need to do that right away. If you have any trouble accessing a child, then please let us know. You'll have to work with your student not in a school setting, right? So you'll need to work with them at their home or at your home or at the library or something like that, okay? So those are the introductory tasks. Then you'll get into the meat of the module, and this is how the rest of the modules will go. You'll start with the module commentary, because that's the content, that's the stuff, right? That's the learning that's going to go on. You'll read through that content. You'll read some of the things your instructors want to highlight, and the commentary will direct you to certain readings, certain videos, and certain activities. Okay, so work through the commentary. Again, that's the meat of the module. At the end of the module, for modules 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're going to have a content quiz, right? Now, during the school year, we sometimes have students demonstrate their understanding, and we assess that understanding in a different way, right? We don't always give quizzes during the school year. Excuse me. But because of the time and because we want to make sure that you are learning as effectively as possible, we're going to go with quizzes. Now, here's what we can recommend to you. When you are reading through the materials that are indicated in the commentary, excuse me, pardon me, when you're doing that, the more active that you can be as a reader, the better. So one thing that you'll learn a lot in this course is the importance of having a purpose for your reading and the importance of being an active and engaged reader. You'll start to see that in the readings with Module 1 and certainly in Modules 3 and 4. So one thing that you can do is you can start to try to apply those things now in your own learning. So our suggestion is not to just sort of read and then go take the quiz and like keep your fingers crossed that you got it. Instead, what we would recommend is that you read actively, right? Now, that looks different for different people, but here are some suggestions. You might want to take notes in the margin, right? Mark interesting ideas, mark questions you have, maybe to ask your instructor or to ask your peers. Mark things that were particularly interesting, mark connections that you have, right? Things that, oh, that's what that other reading said. Oh, I'm starting to see, right? Or that's like what I experienced in another course. Or wait, that feels different than what I've read about before. Take those notes. Think about what you're thinking as a reader. Maybe highlight, maybe even respond at the end of every reading, right? Take a couple sentences of notes, maybe summarize, maybe respond, okay? Some of those active ways of staying engaged and thinking about what am I learning here that will help my instruction? What am I learning here that I can show that I know in the quiz? Okay. Think about those. The more that you do that kind of active and engaged reading, the better that your understanding will be. And you'll learn about why as we learn more about comprehension. And also, the faster you will be able to access those notes and your learning for the quiz, right? So the quizzes are timed. They're not going to be super, super crunched, but you're not going to be able to sort of read the question and then go read the article. That's not going to work. So you need to have read and prepared. And each question will tell you what source that question is drawing from. So you can go back to it. You can flip, you can skim, you can remember your notes, you can notice what you marked. And that way that should help you answer the questions. Okay, so try to, even though we're not making an assignment that says, what are your connections to these readings? Reflect on them. You can still do that. And if you do it, you will be better prepared for the assessment of the quiz. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. In Module 2, we'll talk about assessment. And that's where the other application assignments will start. So you will do an assessment project with a student, your practicum student. You'll do an interactive read aloud in Module 3 with your student. And you will do a guided reading project in Module 4 with your student. In addition to those, you're going to participate in 2 different literature circle discussions. You'll read one book. You'll talk about the first half of it in Module 2. You'll talk about the second half of it in Module 5 with your group. Okay. Literature circles are a fabulous, engaging way of getting kids excited about reading and to deepen their comprehension as well as expand their discussion skills. So that's the other thing you'll get to apply that you're learning. Okay. So quizzes in the first 4 modules, literature circle discussions, and then your 3 practicum projects, assessment project, interactive read aloud, and guided reading. Okay, we'll end with a final exam in the end of Module 5. Everything is marked on here, so you see your timing. So take a look at it. Okay, so just so you know, we really want you to be successful in this class. It's going to go fast. You're going to have to be engaged. You're going to have to do a lot of thinking as fast as possible. Okay, so try to be efficient, but try to be deep. We don't want this just to feel like you're having to check through things because the next one's starting. We want you to still be building knowledge that's going to make you an effective teacher, okay? It's really, really, really important stuff. I care about it a ton. The other instructors care about it a ton. Your future students will care about it a ton. So take the time, take it seriously, work hard. I think you'll really like it once we get into it, okay? So be in touch. Let us know if you have any questions. We're so, so glad to have you here this summer. Just keep on top of it. Keep on track of stuff. Stay with us, and I'll meet you at the end. All right, good luck, guys.